Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is 7 Big Six stars at risk of Premier League suspension with Arsenal and Man United in danger. A number of Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United and Manchester City players are walking a tightrope with regards to suspension after each picking up 4 yellow cards this season. Everything you need to know as 7 Big Six Premier League players are running the risk of a one-game suspension for their respective sides. The rules of the Premier League, the FA's disciplinary rules state that any player who sees 5 bookings from their team's first 19 Premier League matches in a single season will serve a one-match ban. Cards also do not carry over to the EFL Cup and FA Cup, and bans must therefore be served in the Premier League. Ricardo Calafiori at risk. Arsenal defender Ricardo Calafiori is at risk of serving a one-match ban as he heads into Wednesday's clash with Brentford. The Italian has picked up cards against Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle United and Chelsea, and one more against Brentford will see him sit out the Gunners' clash with Aston Villa on Saturday. Connor Bradley on thin ice. As a result of Jeremy Frimpong dealing with hamstring issues as of recent, Connor Bradley has been cast into the squad as Arne Slot's first-choice right-back when fit. However, having made his way into the referee's books on 4 occasions this term, he will have to be on his best behavior going forward. Bradley is currently dealing with his own muscular injury, and is not expected to return to the field until later this month. Read the full story here. Dominik Szoboszlai's bookings mount up. As a result of injury to Frimpong and Bradley, Slot has been forced to utilize Dominik Szoboszlai as a makeshift right-back for large part of the season. However, the Hungarian will have to tread carefully against Brentford on Wednesday, as he has also been booked 4 times, and a one-match suspension could prove problematic, considering Liverpool are already short at the back. Bernardo Silva worry. As for Manchester City, Bernardo Silva will have to watch his game against Fulham on Tuesday night, given he has picked up yellows against Arsenal, Liverpool and Leeds. Should he pick up another 2 against Fulham and Sunderland, he will miss City's clash with Crystal Palace come Sunday, December 14th. Gianluigi Donnarumma on shaky ground. Elsewhere, Gianluigi Donnarumma has featured heavily for Manchester City since his summer move from PSG, but he could make way for James Trafford should he be booked against Fulham. The keeper has picked up yellows against Arsenal, Bournemouth, Newcastle and Leeds this term. Manchester United duo towing the line, Patrick Dorgu and Casemiro have also picked up 4 yellow cards each this season. Casemiro has been Ruben Amorim's first-choice centre-mid alongside Bruno Fernandes as of late, and losing him to a one-game suspension could prove problematic as the Red Devils look to find their stride. Dorgu has also impressed in large parts, and his absence could also be felt at Old Trafford. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool transfer news, contract updates, and insider reactions from Anfield. Subscribe now for daily Liverpool FC updates and breaking football news. Our second news is Jurgen Klopp's verdict on Steven Gerrard as Liverpool icon told he could replace Arne Slot. Speculation over who could replace Arne Slot at Liverpool if the Reds continue to struggle has been mounting, with some believing Steven Gerrard could be an option at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp has already said that Steven Gerrard will definitely become Liverpool boss in the future, with the Reds icon now being told to brush up on his skills to ensure he is ready to replace Arne Slot. German coach Klopp, now in a roll away from the training pitch with Red Bull, has worked on the same pitches as Gerrard and faced off against him previously, too. And in 2021, when the legendary Reds captain returned in the dugout in charge of Aston Villa, Klopp gave his seal of approval to Gerrard taking the reins at Anfield one day. And those comments have resurfaced, with Gerrard now tipped to take over an interim basis as pressure continues to build on Slot. After arresting Liverpool's alarming run-of-form with a win over West Ham on Sunday, the Dutchman appears to be safe for the moment. However, Gerrard's former England teammate Rio Ferdinand reckons he could soon be in the hot seat. I was in Qatar over the last few days with Steven Gerrard, the Manchester United icon revealed on his Rio Ferdinand Presents podcast, after attending the Qatar Grand Prix with his former England colleague. I was saying to him over some food the other day, listen, you need to sharpen your tools, mate. Sharpen your tools, get them ready, because you could be going back in as interim boss. There are so many games coming up that I was thinking I don't see Slot getting through all of them in good enough condition, and I think the pressure from the terraces and the fan base might get too much and they might make a decision. In that climate, with someone like Steven Gerrard sitting there, a legend of the club, forget his tenures at different clubs. There's a legend of the football club ready to come in and just steady the ship for them. I wouldn't have been surprised if Steven Gerrard had gotten a call. Gerrard started his coaching career in Liverpool's youth ranks before taking over at Rangers. The 45-year-old found success in Scotland, going unbeaten on his way to winning the title with Rangers. He was unable to find similar success with Aston Villa when Klopp's comments were made. Gerrard has only coached Saudi side Al Ettifaq after departing the Midlands but has been unattached since January. Speaking during his time at Villa, Klopp gave Gerrard a ringing endorsement when he was asked if the former midfielder was a potential candidate to succeed him in the future. "Oh yes, I do, absolutely," Klopp said. "The only thing is, when is the right moment for that? I think that Stevie is doing really well and he's very young from a manager's point of view, so it's just when is the right moment for him to take the job. Yes, I believe it will definitely happen and good for everyone." Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool transfer news, contract updates, and insider reactions from Anfield. Subscribe now for daily Liverpool FC updates and breaking football news. Our third news is Liverpool move one step closer to blockbuster agreement. Liverpool are that one step closer to a massive transfer agreement. Things are looking very positive for the Reds. Liverpool will re-enter the transfer market this winter when the January window opens. And that's now under a month away. That it's a bust time of year, but really, this window will be far busier than the Reds planned for it to be. Their dream was that every deal they made in the summer was all they needed, that the squad was improved on and they'd move through the season with it. Results and performances have shown that won't be the case. More work is needed if Liverpool are to compete, and that means reshuffling things this winter. There are a few areas that need work, too. Midfield could use something new, particularly defensively. Luis Diaz was never replaced, either, and cover for Mo Salah would be wonderful. Liverpool look good for Mark Guéhi deal. Liverpool went into this season with 4 senior centre-backs. However, it wasn't the 4 they wanted. The plan in the summer was for Joe Gomez to leave the club, probably to AC Milan, while Mark Guéhi joined from Crystal Palace. The Eagles captain is on an expiring contract and Liverpool felt they could get him for a reduced price. However, Palace collapsed that deal right at the last minute. Both Gomez and Guéhi remained where they were, and the thinking was that both would stay in place for the season. Liverpool then lost Giovanni Leone, though, leaving them short at the back. That quickly brought about thoughts of pushing for Guéhi again, perhaps paying an even further reduced fee as he'd be within 6 months of his contract ending come January. The problem was that while Guéhi would be closer to the end of his deal, interest in him would also skyrocket. After all, he's even cheaper and clubs from outside of England can negotiate with him freely from January 1st. Real Madrid were thought to be one of those. They're also in the market for a centre-back, and Guéhi wouldn't cost them a fee if they were willing to wait until the summer for him to arrive. Guéhi is also far more likely to just wait out 6 months of his contract to get whatever move he wants. Liverpool, then, aren't in as strong a position as they were last summer. But The Athletic now reports that Real Madrid are not pushing for a move with Guéhi. They appear to have other targets in mind, which takes arguably the biggest competition for the centre-back off the table. Liverpool move a long way close to getting Guéhi signed up, honestly. Their only real issue is competition, and if Real Madrid aren't there dangling the free transfer in front of him, the Reds will feel a lot more confident about it all. Time will tell here, but this is a major step forward. If Liverpool are willing to meet Palace's asking price, Guéhi is surely heading to Anfield. Liverpool are reportedly moving one step closer to a blockbuster transfer agreement, with fresh rumors linking the Reds to a Rodrygo bid and a potential double Real Madrid raid. Meanwhile, Premier League headlines warn that 7 Big Six stars are at risk of suspension, affecting clubs like Arsenal, Manchester United, and Liverpool. Plus, Jurgen Klopp's verdict on Steven Gerrard sparks new debate on whether the Liverpool legend could replace Arne Slot in the future. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool transfer news, contract updates, and insider reactions from Anfield. Subscribe now for daily Liverpool FC updates and breaking football news. Our fourth news is Liverpool linked with stunning double Real Madrid raid as Semenyo dream hits major roadblock. Liverpool are understood to have fallen behind Manchester City in the race to sign Antoine Semenyo, sources have revealed, though the Reds have been linked with an extraordinary double deal for 2 of Real Madrid's biggest names. It's been a disastrous Premier League title defense from Arne Slot thus far, although Liverpool at least got back to winning ways at West Ham over the weekend. And, despite their monstrous spend over the summer, the Reds are expected to be in the market again in January to fix some of their glaring needs in a bid to get their campaign back on track. Semenyo hurdle leads to real raid. Liverpool's January transfer plans have been thrown into chaos after City emerged as contenders to sign long-term priority Semenyo, forcing Arne Slot and Richard Hughes to activate ambitious Plan BS just 4 weeks before the window opens. Sources close to Anfield confirm the Bournemouth winger, who has terrorized Premier League defenses with 6 goals and 3 assists already this season, is closer to City than us. Pep Guardiola has personally pushed for the 25-year-old Ghanaian, viewing him as the perfect wide partner for Erling Haaland, and City are ready to trigger the £65 million release clause that was inserted into Semenyo's new contract over the summer. With that route potentially closed, Liverpool have dramatically escalated interest in Real Madrid's Rodrygo. The 24-year-old Brazilian, once considered untouchable at the Bernabeu, has made only 12 La Liga appearances this season under Xabi Alonso. Madrid are now willing to listen to offers in the region of €80 to €90 million, £70 to £79 million, in January rather than risk losing him for less in the summer of 2026 when he enters the last 2 years of his deal. Liverpool plotting mouth-watering Bellingham swoop. Meanwhile, ambitious reports in the Spanish press claim the Reds have also made contact with Jude Bellingham's representative in order to convince the midfielder to move to Anfield, with the England star currently coming under fierce criticism in the Real Madrid press. Bellingham is struggling after a sensational 2023-24 campaign in Madrid. Indeed, he's been unable to find anything like his best form since the arrival of Xabi Alonso over the summer. While it must be noted that Bellingham is not the only Real Madrid player out of form right now, given his stature, his obvious talent, and the expectations heaped on him, the 46 times capped England star does come under the microscope more than others, and now, according to the ambitious reporting of Defensa Central, Liverpool sense an opportunity to sign Bellingham amid mounting criticism, and they claim the Reds have already made a move to bring the Madrid midfielder to Anfield by contacting his agent, who is his father, Mark Bellingham. Get the inside story first by joining our Team Talk Facebook channel to receive the latest breaking and exclusive news straight into your messenger inbox. Liverpool back in talks to sign Guehi. When it comes to bolstering what's been a leaky Liverpool backline, Team Talk sources have revealed to us that they reopened direct talks with Mark Guehi's representatives this week as they attempt to steal a march on Real Madrid and bring the Crystal Palace captain to Anfield in January. The 25-year-old centre-back, whose deal at Selhurst Park expires in June, is free to sign a pre-contract agreement with foreign clubs from January 1st. Real Madrid have made no secret of their long-standing admiration and are actively exploring the possibility of securing Guehi on a free transfer next summer. That scenario has alarmed Anfield's hierarchy. With Virgil van Dijk in the latter years of his career, and amid Ibrahima Konate's poor form and uncertain future, Arne Slot has identified Guehi as his priority defensive target to future-proof the back line. Liverpool also believe Palace's resolve has softened since the summer, when a deal worth up to £35 million with add-ons collapsed at the 11th hour. The Eagles' mid-table position and need for transfer funds to support Oliver Glasner's rebuild have changed the landscape, leading the Reds to make their move with a £25 to £30 million next month. Shock Harvey Elliott escape route. With Harvey Elliott seemingly wasting away at Aston Villa, due to a lack of game time on loan at Villa Park, a surprise route has reportedly emerged. Football Insider reports that the Reds are fuming with the lack of time Elliott has been afforded at Villa Park, and serious consideration is being given to a recall. While the report adds that Elliott's options for the first few months of 2026 would be rather limited, having already played for the maximum permissible 2 clubs in his campaign, he would still be eligible to feature for a club whose season runs on a calendar year basis and overlaps with the Premier League, for example, MLS. Indeed, it's stated that the 22-year-old could actually be loaned out to New England Revolution, who are based less than an hour from Boston, where FSG's headquarters is based. Although Liverpool's owners have no official ties with the Revs, the MLS club's close proximity to Boston could perhaps prompt John Henry to try and utilize some local connections to potentially arrange a short-term loan move for Elliott to Massachusetts. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool transfer news, contract updates, and insider reactions from Anfield. Subscribe now for daily Liverpool FC updates and breaking football news. Our last news is transfer rumors. Liverpool make Rodrygo bid, Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. replacement. Mohamed Salah, Kobbie Mainoo, Erling Haaland and Pedro Neto all feature in today's gossip. Sports Illustrated rounds up the latest transfer rumors and gossip from around the world. Having developed major concerns over their defense, Liverpool have reopened talks with the agents of Crystal Palace centre-back Marc Guéhi over a January transfer in a bid to beat Real Madrid to his signature. Source: Team Talk. Potentially coming in at Liverpool could be Real Madrid winger Rodrygo. The Reds want a deal done as early as January and are already working towards an agreement. Source: Fishages. Arsenal are looking to get ahead of their European rivals with new moves in pursuit of Juventus winger Kenan Yildiz. Source: Corriere dello Sport. When the January transfer window opens, Manchester United will listen to offers for Kobbie Mainoo, Joshua Zirkzee, Manuel Ugarte and Tyrell Malacia. Source: ESPN. Zirkzee had been a primary target for Roma, but his public reluctance to push for a move has seen them consider other options, with Tottenham Hotspur winger Mathys Tel an increasingly popular alternative. Source: Il Messaggero. Chelsea are leading the race to sign RB Leipzig centre-back Castello Lakiba ahead of Liverpool, Man United and Newcastle United. Source: Caught Offside. But Chelsea have cooled their interest in Aston Villa midfielder Morgan Rogers and no longer see the 23-year-old, who signed a new contract in November, as a realistic target. Source: The Athletic. Newcastle will revive their interest in Manchester City goalkeeper James Trafford in January, having come close to an agreement before the England international moved to the Etihad during the summer. Source: Daily Mail. Tottenham goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario is unhappy in England and wants to return to Italy, where Inter have already opened talks with his representatives. Source: Gazzetta dello Sport. Approaches the final 6 months of his contract. Source: Fishages. Scouts from Bournemouth, Burnley, Everton, Liverpool and West Ham United watched 21-year-old Midtjylland striker Franquilino Ju in action at the weekend. Source: Indcast. Officials from Saudi Arabia have started work on a deal to make Real Madrid winger Vinicius Jr. the highest-paid player in the world. Liverpool's Mohamed Salah remains a long-term target for the Pro League. Source: TalkSport. Vinicius and Federico Valverde are seen as likely candidates to leave to raise the funds needed to build Real Madrid's dream squad, which includes Arsenal midfielder Martin Zubimendi and Man City striker Erling Haaland as direct replacements. Source: Defensa Central. On the other hand, Real Madrid's preferred replacement for Vinicius would be Athletic Club winger Nico Williams, with Los Blancos ready to trigger his release clause of €90 million, £79.1 million, $104.6 million, if needed. Source: Fishages. Barcelona have been impressed by Chelsea winger Pedro Neto's start to the season, but the Blues will not entertain any offers for the Portugal international. Source: Football Insider. With Atletico Madrid striker Julian Alvarez a dream target, Barcelona president Joan Laporta is ready to sanction a significant sale, either a player or other club assets, to raise the necessary funds. Source: Marca. Real Madrid and Barcelona are both chasing Eintracht Frankfurt left-back Nathaniel Brown. The Bundesliga side want as much as €70 million, £61.5 million, $81.3 million, for a player who is also on Man Utd's shortlist. Source: Florian Plettenberg. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.